Everybody, welcome to this brief talk about media presentation of AI, sources and sentiment, which is based on some early work that we conducted within the ENFIELD project, looking at how AI is presented, represented and considered within media coverage. So we were looking to see how media coverage of AI has evolved over time, particularly drawing upon UK sources, looking at the volume, topics and related sentiment of the coverage. We're looking to see what the dominant themes were within the news articles, whether there are any tendencies in the sentiment in relation to this representation, and whether there's any difference in the sentiment type based on different types of publication. So what we did was a qualitative analysis of UK news coverage, drawing out 7,600 articles across the period of 2013 to 2024. We collected the data using Python scrapers and then performed sentiment analysis using the Vader tool. In terms of the sources that we drew upon, well, we've got four categories: mainstream, technology, business and scientific, basically looking to see if the coverage has a different tone, has a different nature, depending on the type of media that's actually reporting upon it. And you can see that we drew different volumes of articles from different categories there. Now, in terms of the overall volume of articles per year, you can see a significant spike in 2023, and this coincides basically with the transition from ChatGPT 3.5 to ChatGPT 4, which is essentially when we can consider it became mainstream. And in the early part of the year, we started to see over 100 million users starting to explore and experiment with ChatGPT. And that in its turn caused a spike in the related news coverage and media reporting around the issue. In terms of the sentiment of the coverage that we saw over the overall period, it was predominantly positive throughout, a bit of a decrease post 2022, again with the ChatGPT adoption, seeing some of the things that people were using it for. And perhaps an initial enthusiasm there, followed by some more in-depth and more critically focused pieces. And in terms of the tone of the reporting, there was perhaps a degree of sensationalism more associated with the mainstream media. And we can see there in the chart that the mainstream media has a slightly less overall positive tone in terms of the sentiment there. In terms of the topic coverage, we can see that the sentiment was largely positive when considering the raw technology, for example, and the application areas for AI, until we get down to things like government regulation, the role of tech giants and applications in areas such as military. And we can see there a notable drop in the average sentiment in those articles. Now, if you're interested in reading a bit more about this, here's the first page of the related paper from the HISA 2025 conference. If you go and look for it, you can read more pages, and that'll tell you more about what we did and how we did it and what we found. Thank you very much.